Brain Mythbusters, Episode 1. Welcome to the very first episode of the NeuroSphere, Mythbusters, where we challenge the most popular misconceptions about the brain with real neuroscience. Today, we're going to look at two of the most widespread brain myths out there, ones you've probably heard in school, movies, or on social media. Let's jump in and separate myth from reality. Myth 1: we only use 10% of our brain. You've probably heard this one before, that we only use 10% of our brain. It sounds exciting, right? Like we've got 90% of untapped potential just waiting to be unlocked. But here's the truth, it's false. The percentage part. We'll get into the untapped potential part in another video. Our brains are incredibly active, even when we're resting, daydreaming, or sleeping. Functional MRI and PET scans consistently show activity across all areas of the brain, even when doing simple tasks. If 90% of the brain was unused, brain injuries in those regions wouldn't result in any symptoms, but that's simply not the case. Neurologist Barry Beierstein outlined 7 kinds of evidence that disprove this myth, including studies of brain damage, brain imaging, and the high energy demands of the brain. It uses about 20% of your body's total energy, even though it's just 2% of your body weight. In short, the myth is catchy, but the science doesn't support it. Now, the scientific evidence using 100% of the brain. Let's look at the facts. Studies using fMRI, which tracks blood flow in the brain, and PET scans, which detect glucose metabolism, show that nearly all parts of the brain are active at various times during the day. There's no silent 90%. Even when you're not thinking or problem solving, your brain is still running crucial background systems like breathing, heartbeat regulation, and what's called the default mode network, the system that's active when your mind wanders. So why does this myth persist? It likely came from early 20th century misinterpretations of neuroscience, or motivational speakers trying to hype up human potential. But now that we have the science, we know better. Myth 2: people are either left-brained or right-brained. Now on to myth number 2, that people are either left-brained or right-brained. You've heard it, if you're logical and good at math, you must be left-brained. If you're artistic and imaginative, you're right-brained. Well, let's bust that. Yes, it's true that certain functions are more dominant in one hemisphere than the other. For instance, language tends to be processed more in the left hemisphere, and spatial tasks often rely more on the right. But your brain is a team player. Both sides are always talking to each other. Your thoughts, decisions, movements, and even creativity depend on complex networks that span both hemispheres. So, the idea that one side of your brain determines your personality is a vast oversimplification. And the scientific evidence, no such thing as a left-brain personality? In 2013, researchers at the University of Utah scanned over 1,000 people using resting state fMRI and looked at brain connectivity. They found no evidence that people had dominant activity in one hemisphere over the other that would link to personality traits. Instead, both hemispheres showed active engagement across a wide range of tasks. The corpus callosum, that big band of nerve fibers between the hemispheres, constantly passes information back and forth, integrating input from both sides. So, whether you're solving a math problem or painting a portrait, you're using your whole brain. And remember, people are complex. Creativity and logic are not opposites. They often go hand in hand. In conclusion, let's rethink what we know. So, what have we learned today? First, we use all our brain, not just 10%. And second, no one is strictly left-brained or right-brained. These myths might sound fun, but they limit our understanding of how powerful and interconnected our brains truly are. The human brain is dynamic, adaptable, and deeply integrated. By challenging these myths, we get closer to appreciating how amazing and complex it really is. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll explore even more surprising brain myths. Until then, keep questioning and keep learning. Goodbye and thank you.